Did you know that every year, millions of people around the world are taking their blood pressure medication the wrong way without even realizing it? These are people who take their health seriously, who try their best to follow medical advice, who never miss a dose. But sadly, these very people, the ones trying to heal, are unknowingly making their health worse, day by day. And the scariest part, they have no idea. We've grown used to thinking of high blood pressure as a dangerous enemy, something that must be eliminated as quickly as possible, a lifelong sentence. So when a doctor prescribes medication, we take it. When our pressure spikes, we take it again and again, year after year, like machines. But if we pause for a moment and look a little deeper, the truth is very different. High blood pressure isn't always a bad thing. It's more like a fire alarm going off in a house, signaling that something inside our body isn't right. It could be an internal injury, a circulatory blockage, or long-term stress that hasn't been resolved. It's a signal, a reminder that our body needs attention, needs balance, needs healing. But instead of searching for the root cause, we try to silence the alarm with medication, with artificially controlled numbers, and with a false sense of security, even though the real problem hasn't been fixed. Maybe this sounds like you, or someone you love, your parents, grandparents, or even your spouse, is living day after day dependent on blood pressure meds without truly feeling any better. Maybe they're tired, numb in the limbs, dizzy, forgetful, but chalk it up to aging or the weather rather than the meds themselves. And that's exactly why today I want to invite you to take a few minutes to truly listen. Not to me, but to your own body, to listen to what it's been trying to tell you all this time. In this video, we'll take an honest look at things few people talk about. The common but extremely dangerous mistakes people make when taking blood pressure medication. The questions patients often wrestle with, but never get satisfying answers to. And most importantly, a natural, healthy path that you can follow to free yourself from daily dependence on pills. If you or a loved one is currently taking blood pressure medication, please don't look away, because even one small misunderstanding today could lead to serious consequences for your health tomorrow. And now, let's dive into the first major mistake, the belief that once you have high blood pressure, you have to take medication for life. Sound familiar? Many people, the moment they're diagnosed with high blood pressure, immediately accept a fixed fate, a lifetime bond with blood pressure meds. But what's the reality? High blood pressure isn't always a disease. Sometimes it's simply the body's way of protecting you. When you suffer an injury, a lack of blood flow to the brain, internal inflammation, or even prolonged stress, the body needs to raise pressure to move blood faster, farther, and deeper. It's a natural response, but we've been taught to see high blood pressure as a system failure and medication as the only tool to crush those numbers down. The truth is, blood pressure meds can save lives in acute situations when a sudden spike threatens survival. But if you're silencing the body's signals every single day without understanding why they're happening, then you're treating the symptom, not the cause. And over time, that causes the body to lose its natural balance and become entirely dependent on medication. The second common mistake is just as dangerous, believing that your blood pressure must always stay below 140, no matter what. Sometimes the fear of high blood pressure is worse than the condition itself. There are people who measure their blood pressure 3 times a day who can't even sleep because they saw the number rise to 145. But think about it. Is blood pressure really a fixed number? Absolutely not. Blood pressure fluctuates with your body's natural rhythms, emotions, the weather, physical activity. You climb the stairs, it rises. You get angry, it rises. You feel emotional, happy, anxious, it rises too. That's a natural response. The problem lies in our misunderstanding. We think that going above 140 automatically means danger. In reality, it's the over-controlling, taking meds the moment the number inches up, that's truly dangerous. Because then, the body loses the flexibility to adjust on its own. It's forced to maintain an artificial level of pressure, and the result? Dizziness, sudden drops in pressure, fainting, cold hands and feet, even disrupted blood flow to the brain. And the third mistake, quiet but possibly the most dangerous, is believing that blood pressure medication is harmless. Many people take these meds every day, year after year, out of habit, but they've never once asked themselves, what is this drug actually doing in my body? The truth is, blood pressure meds are not just like drinking water. They affect your nervous system, your blood circulation, your liver, your kidneys, your brain. Over time, these drugs can reduce blood flow to your limbs, causing numbness. They can interfere with insulin regulation, increasing your risk of diabetes. And most notably, they can damage your kidneys due to abnormal blood flow through the delicate filtering system. A little more each day, not noticeable at first, but very real. So, medication isn't your lifelong best friend. It should be a temporary assistant, helping you through the acute phase, and so you can take charge of your lifestyle, diet, mindset, and movement to let your body restore its own balance. Because once your body regains the ability to naturally regulate blood pressure, you won't have to rely on meds forever. And when you understand that, you'll no longer see blood pressure as a life sentence, but as an opportunity to reset, to reconnect with yourself. In my journey supporting thousands of people with high blood pressure, I've realized something very clearly. Patients don't lack medication, or blood pressure monitors, or prescriptions. What they lack is a clear explanation. Not in fancy medical jargon, but in simple, relatable language, so they can truly understand the nature of what they're going through. And here are 4 questions almost everyone has asked at some point. Maybe you have too. The first question is, can high blood pressure be cured? The answer is yes, but not by suppressing it with daily meds, by finding and addressing the root causes behind the rise in pressure. Imagine your body as a house. High blood pressure is the alarm going off when something's burning inside. If you just silence the alarm, the fire keeps smoldering. What you need to do is put out the fire by tackling the underlying issues. Maybe your kidneys are weakening. Maybe your liver is overloaded. Maybe your blood vessels are losing elasticity due to high cholesterol, chronic inflammation, or long-term stress. Or maybe it's something as subtle as your body being in a state of internal cold, stagnant energy, and impaired circulation. When these deeper causes are healed, your blood pressure naturally comes back into balance. No force, no resistance, just inner harmony. The second question is, at what number is blood pressure truly dangerous? We're often told that anything over 140 90 millimeter Hg is considered high blood pressure. But here's a little known truth. Not all increases are dangerous. Blood pressure only becomes truly dangerous and requires immediate intervention when it exceeds 180 110 millimeter Hg and is accompanied by symptoms such as severe headaches, blurred vision, chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, or partial paralysis. At that point, the extreme pressure can rupture blood vessels in the brain, triggering a stroke or cause sudden heart failure. In many other cases, though, high blood pressure is simply a temporary reaction, like after exercise, following an argument, during emotional stress, anxiety, or even just early in the morning after waking up. At those times, your pressure might rise to 150 or even 160 millimeter Hg, but it will naturally return to normal as your body recovers. The issue isn't the number, it's the misunderstanding of what the number means. The third question is, why do some people take blood pressure meds and still not see any improvement? This is a very real concern, and it often leaves patients feeling confused and discouraged. Why am I taking my meds regularly and still not getting better? It's a question many have asked in frustration. The answer could come down to 3 main causes. First, the root problem hasn't been addressed. For example, weak kidneys, hormonal imbalances, or chronic stress. You can take medication to manage the blood pressure, but if the underlying issue hasn't healed, the symptoms will keep returning. Second, the body may have become resistant to the medication after long-term use. Just like drinking coffee, at first it perks you up, but over time, it loses its effect. Your body stops responding to the same dose. Third, the treatment plan might not suit your specific body type and condition. Not everyone is the same. Some people need just one type of medication. Others may need a combination, or even a completely different approach. But regardless of the reason, the most important thing to remember is, don't just change the medication, change your perspective. And the fourth question is, if I already have high blood pressure, how should I eat and exercise to support my recovery? This is a crucial question, and one that often gives people a sense of hope. Because when you understand that blood pressure can be managed through lifestyle, through breath, through small daily changes in how you eat, think, and sleep, you no longer feel powerless. The full answer to this question is coming up next. But I want you to get into the right mindset, because this isn't about a complicated treatment plan or an expensive formula. It's about 3 simple, doable, and highly effective steps. Steps that will help you gradually stabilize your blood pressure naturally from the inside out. So now let's continue and discover what those 3 steps are. Step 1 is detoxification, cleansing the body from within. Picture your body as a system of water pipes. If those pipes are clogged, blocked, or full of waste, the flow has to increase its pressure to get through, and that's exactly what causes blood pressure to rise. Similarly, if your liver is toxic, your kidneys are underperforming, or your intestines are full of accumulated waste, the entire circulatory system suffers. Your blood isn't properly filtered, your vessels lose flexibility, and pressure builds up more and more each day. What you need to do is start with your diet. Reduce processed foods, refined sugar, red meats, and reused cooking oils. Instead, eat more leafy greens, low-sugar fresh fruits, drink plenty of warm water, and include herbs that cool the liver, support mild diuresis, and reduce inflammation naturally. There are many gentle detox recipes using ingredients like white radish, celery, lotus leaf, artichoke, or black bean broth, all of which help cleanse your blood vessels and support your liver and kidneys in flushing out toxins. When your internal system is clean, your blood pressure will gradually return to its natural balance. Step 2, proper breathing. Regulating your internal energy and circulation. This is something many people overlook, but in reality, it is the foundation of life itself. Qi and blood, 2 elements that seem separate, are in fact inseparable partners. Wherever there is a lack of qi, blood becomes stagnant, and wherever qi flows smoothly, blood circulates with ease. Learning to breathe deeply, evenly, and slowly, especially in the morning, not only helps reduce mental stress and calm the nervous system, but also directly impacts the heart and blood pressure. A proper breath can slow the heartbeat, lower vascular pressure, and create a sense of peace that spreads throughout your entire body. You can try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly over 8 seconds. Just a few minutes each day, practice consistently for a few weeks, and you'll begin to notice real changes, not just in your blood pressure, but in your sleep, your mood, and your overall quality of life. And step 3, acupressure, unblocking the flow of circulation. There are key acupoints on our bodies that, when stimulated, can help open up the knots in the circulatory system. Points like Yongquan on the soles of the feet, Tai Chong on the top of the foot, or Shenshu on the lower back are all closely linked to blood pressure regulation and organ function. Gently pressing these points for 5 to 10 minutes daily, along with tracing along the meridian lines from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, can help restore flow where it's been blocked. At that point, your blood pressure doesn't need to push as hard to get the blood moving, because the pathway is already clear. You can think of it like a water pump and a pipe system. When the pipes are clear, the pump runs smoothly. But if there's a blockage, the pump has to work harder to force the water through. Our bodies are no different. Blood pressure only rises when there's an obstruction. And our job isn't to shut off the pump, but to clear the pathway. When you combine all 3 steps, detoxifying, mindful breathing, and acupressure, you'll notice a real transformation. Not just in your blood pressure numbers, but in your whole internal state. A sense of lightness, deeper sleep, a steadier mind, and most of all, the feeling that you're reclaiming ownership of your health. And perhaps the most wonderful part isn't that you no longer need medication, but that you now understand your body better. You know how to listen to it. You know how to care for it. Not out of fear, but out of compassion. Now you might be wondering, so what's next? Can I really maintain this stability without falling back into the same old cycle? Let me leave you with some final thoughts. As someone who once lived in fear, who once doubted their own body, and who eventually found a gentler, healthier, and more sustainable path forward. Dear friend, high blood pressure is not a sentence, and it's certainly not the end of a healthy, peaceful life. It's simply a signal, a bell ringing to tell you that it's time to pause, to listen, and to truly care for your body. We've become so used to reacting. We feel pain, we take a pill. We feel tired, we rest for a bit. Our blood pressure spikes, we rush to bring it down. But very few people ask, why is my body reacting this way? What's misaligned inside me? It's that lack of reflection, that silence toward the body's signals that hurts us the most. Blood pressure is not the enemy. It's a reminder that something in your inner flow is blocked, that you need to rest, breathe more deeply, re-choose how you live, how you think, and how you care for yourself. You don't need to fear it. You just need to understand it. And once you start listening to your body, not with fear, but with compassion, you'll realize that health doesn't come from a pill. It comes from every glass of water you drink, every breath you take, every step you walk, and from every small choice you make each day, choosing calm over anger, rest over overexertion, love over self-blame. I'm not denying the value of modern medicine, nor am I rejecting the importance of medication in urgent situations. But I truly believe, and real-life experience has shown, that there are safer, more natural, more sustainable paths. And if you're patient enough and truly listen, you absolutely can walk that path. If today you feel trapped in a cycle, dependent on medication, emotionally overwhelmed, living in fear, please know this: you are not alone. Many others have been where you are, and they've changed, not through anything grand, but through clear understanding and small daily changes in how they live. And if this video has offered you a new perspective, a glimmer of hope, or even just a moment of feeling understood, then I've fulfilled my purpose today. Remember, your health is something no one else can give you. Only you can claim it. Be a companion to your body, not a controller, but someone who understands it, loves it, and walks beside it for life. If you found the messages in this video helpful, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and share this video with your family and friends, especially those who take blood pressure meds daily. Because sometimes one small click can help someone who's feeling lost. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. I wish you and your loved ones peace, good health, and the joy of living each heartbeat to the fullest. And don't forget, we'll meet again in the next video, where the journey of healing continues.